What is up guys, welcome back to another video. Thanks for joining me today. We have a Gouki Testhands video today. Last time we did a deck profile and I figure it's good to actually show off what this deck can potentially do with different opening Testhands. Now Goukis are definitely known for having long combos. As a result, this video will most likely be dedicated to going first turns, whereas I'll make a separate video actually going second for those particular Testhands. However, in this one it is definitely going to be interesting to see what we can go for during the first turn, trying to potentially lock out the opponent, but of course going second, that does change things up by going for more OTKs. But with that being said, I would like to remind you guys to drop a like, share, comment and subscribe if you end up enjoying this video. I noticed that almost 60% of you aren't even subscribed to this channel, so please do, it really does help. However, with that being said, let's begin. Alright, so here's our opening hand. Definitely something very interesting to work with. We could just go for the rotor, and for that this will allow me to actually add our Suprex, which would be fantastic of course. So let's look for that over here. And we can normal summon out Suprex, summoning out our Octo Stretch, and we link those two away, immediately allowing us to go for our Isolde. Both these cards will allow us to search. We could also search using Isolde as well, that would be okay. So in this case, I'm just going to add the Kage Mucha Knight, more so as fodder to summon out the 5 Flint Lady, because it's not going to be able to summon itself anyway because Isolde locks it out. But Suprex and Octo Stretch allows you to search. Luckily we already have the Gouki rematch, so I'm definitely going to get here the Headbats first, and I think I'll grab the Twist Cobra too. So in this case Twist Cobra, and we have our Headbat, which is definitely fantastic as a start. Alright, so with that being said, now we have to figure out what else we could continue on here with. Isolde can easily send our monsters to the graveyard, or send our equip spells to the graveyard. I'm going to keep Different Dimension Reincarnation because it could actually work out, and we're going to get rid of the Moon Mirror Shield, summoning out Guts. So we're just going to look for Guts here, and from that we have Guts onto the field. So how else are we going to play this out? We could get rid of Twist Cobra, and this will bring out Headbats, boosting up the Guts, which doesn't really matter of course, but that's definitely still fantastic. So in this particular case, what can we go for? Well, we could take Isolde, Guts and Headbats, and together they can link themselves away, allowing us to go for our Gouki Power Load Ogre. Firstly, what I will do here is I will put a field center, that way we could actually just keep things at check. But Headbats and Guts will allow us to then search for more cards, so I'm just going to grab myself, maybe we'll go for Rise Scorpio first, but we'll also go for another copy of Suprex just to prepare for our following turn. I think that would definitely be quite fantastic there. So now what do we have available to us? Well, in this particular case we obviously don't have anything on the board to work with, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for the Gouki rematch, and rematch will allow us to then bring out our Twist Cobra, which hasn't used its effect to search yet, and we'll just bring back any of the other ones as well, which is fine of course. We just link those two away, and this will allow us to then go for our Vara Swordsman. So because it's co-linked, we could then summon out our Codebreaker from our deck, which is fantastic of course. So let's look for Codebreaker over here. Summon it to a zone that one of your link monsters is pointing to. We could take Zero Day and Varus Swordsman, and we're going to link those two away, allowing us to go for our Varus Berserker, summoning back into 2 zones that's pointing over here. We could then take Zero Day and Varus Swordsman, and we're going to link those away, allowing us to go for Rusty Bardage. Make sure to bring it out over here, that way we have open spaces over here and here for more potential link monsters. But with that being said, Rusty Bardage now is definitely going to be really good, because what we could do is send a Phantom Knights monster from our deck to the graveyard and then set a spell directly. In this case, I'm going to be setting the Well, firstly I'll be sending off our Ancient Cloak to the grave, and we're going to set down our Shade Brigandine, which would allow us to potentially extend, so we'll set that for now. And from that we can use Ancient Cloak's effect and ditch this to the graveyard, allowing us to then add our Rusty Boots. So where is it? Over here, our Silent Boots, that is. So that's definitely nice. I mean, you could see we definitely have a lot to work with here. The resources is just crazy, and the potential is just there for you to go for anything, but let's just move these all up ahead. Now we're going to activate here our Shade Brigandine, bringing it out, and this will allow us to special summon out our Silent Boots. We have here Silent Boots and Shade Brigandine to potentially go for a few other things as well. I do like that. Let's see, what can we go for in this particular case? I was thinking maybe we could go with a Link 2 first. I do want to go for a Link 2 first, so in this case we'll go for the Silent Boots and we'll take the Shade Brigandine, link them away, allowing us to go for a Verte Anaconda. And with Verte Anaconda out on the board, we could then activate its effect, allowing us to activate our Instant Fusion. And that would allow us to then summon out our Flame Swordsman. So we'll just use a different center marker over here. So with that being said, you could then take the Anaconda and the Virus Berserker, or you could take Virus Berserker and Flame Swordsman, link those two away, and this will allow us to then go for our Avramax, which is fantastic of course. In this particular case we could still definitely continue on with some plays here. These two will follow up on the next turn. Fogblade you could set as a potential negate and disruptor, but you could ditch this to the graveyard, summon out your 5 Flint Lady as well, which is fantastic of course. And then you could link away these two, allowing you to potentially go for something else. In this particular case I'm thinking you go for the Phoenix as well. That would be quite a nice move, because with Phoenix out, at least these guys are all co-linked, meaning they're technically the ones being protected by battle. Not that it really matters, because if you think about it, that's a Link 4, a Link 2, a Link 3, so that's 9 plus the 4 over here, that's 13 times 200, which would make 2600, so you add 26 to Powerload Ogre's attack, making him a really whopping monster. But that's essentially your field. Really nice here. We also still have the negate available, we have a follow-up play, and we have 4 monsters on the board. Really nice, with a lock of protection as well. But yeah, with that being said, let's move on to the next combo. Alright, so this one's definitely very different. As you can see here, we don't have much resources to work with. Ironically, this is actually not too great of a hand because we drew into all the Gouki cards. The issue is, with all of these Gouki cards, we can't really do anything else, because the point is, when you send these Goukis to the graveyard, you're meant to be able to just search out more Goukis from your deck. So there's no need to have a lot of them here, but the fact that we have all of these here, it's quite a detriment to us, but I think we could still work off. So I'm going to go for the reinforcement of the army. This will at least allow me to go for my 5 Flint Lady, or you could go for whatever you want as well. I mean, the Butter Spy is definitely fantastic. I'm thinking the best card to actually go off with is the Junk Forward, just because it has stuff to actually work off from. So we could just summon out the Junk Forward, and we'll normal summon out the Suprex, allowing us to then bring out Twist Cobra, I guess. We'll take the Twist Cobra and the Suprex and we'll link them both away, and this will essentially allow us to go for our Isolde. Isolde in this particular case will allow us to then add another warrior. In this particular case you could just follow up, so I'm just going to bring out the, where is it, Kagemusha Knight. Great follow-up turn anyway. But these 2 cards will allow us to search. So I'm just going to grab out our, where is it? I'm going to grab Headbats, and I'm also going to grab the Rematch. So that way you could actually just extend your plays. Where is Headbats? Over here. These two cards are great cards to extend, by the way, so that's fantastic. But we'll take his Sold. His Sold will send off one of our cards. I'm going to send off the Moon Mirror Shield again, like last time. But in this particular case, you are going to bring out something else. So we already have Octo Stretch and Guts, so it doesn't really matter. But either way, you bring out whichever one you actually want to, and you'll still be fine. So I just bring out Guts because it's the first one I found. Let's see, what else can we do here in this particular circumstance? Well, we have Junk Forward and we have Guts, so we could easily link those two away, and this will essentially allow us to go for our Virus Swordsman, and this will allow us to search with Guts, and also Virus Swordsman summons out your Codebreaker. So what are we going to search for? We'll just search out another Suprex just to use for the following turn, so great way to manage resources, fantastic there. We have 0 Day brought out onto the board. Oh no, we can't actually go for that, so no, my apologies, I actually messed up. We wouldn't be going for all that just yet, but we can still take these here and link them away, allowing us to then go for our, where is it? This will allow us to go for our Power Load Ogre, and then add our, let's see, our Suprex, which is still great of course. We could then activate Rematch, bring back our monsters from the graveyard. Let's see here, so we could bring back Guts, and I mean it doesn't matter what we bring back because they're not going to search anyway. We're just going to link them away, allowing us to bring out our Virus Swordsman, searching out our 0 Day as before, linking these two up, allowing us to then go for our Berserker, and of course Berserker brings them both back here, which is fantastic of course. And this will essentially allow us to then just go for these two, which will bring out our Rusty Bardage. So as you can see, this deck is already really consistent for what it is. Rusty Bardage allows us to send our Ancient Cloak to the graveyard, and Ancient Cloak will also add this. You could either go for Shade Brigandine or Fog Blade, so it's a matter of whether or not you want to bring out extra monsters to extend your board, or whether or not you want to go with the Fog Blade to potentially, I guess, in this particular circumstance, disrupt the opponent. I guess it's a matter of what's up to you in this particular case. So let's see here, we could actually summon out Headbat anyway by sending off, I guess, the Octo Stretch, boosting up our Power Load Ogre. We already have a Phantom Knight on board, so we just bring out our Phantom Knight Silent Boots. Wait a second, where is it? Banish off that because that obviously adds the Silent Boots. We link these two away, and this will allow us to then go for, let's see here, we can then just go for our same card as before, our Anaconda, but you also have to keep in mind that Anaconda will then allow us to then go for our Instant Fusion wherever it is. And this will allow us to obviously bring out our Flame Swordsman, which is fantastic of course. So just going to have a Field Center right here. I would forget last time that Silent Boots also had a graveyard effect, so you could banish that to the graveyard, allowing you to just add your other Phantom Knight spell or trap, whichever you need. Shade Brigandine in this particular circumstance, fantastic. I mean, you could see how much we're going through our resources here. I definitely love that, it's fantastic, but with that we can now take these following cards here and extend. Virus Berserker and Swordsman are both directly from the extra deck, so with that being said, we could go for our Avramax like always. We could then set our Shade Brigandine, our Fog Blade's also set of course, and then we could just bring back or summon out our Shade Brigandine together with the Anaconda. We could go for the same case again, the protection there. The sad thing is really the fact that Rusty Bardage can't be used as a link material. That's the only drawback, but the fact that I went for this same board again with the same Disrupt is definitely very powerful. You can see that if one of these cards here happened to be an Ash or happened to be any kind of hand trap, you're definitely going to be really well off here, protecting all of your cards as well as disrupting your opponent. And that's something I find to be a bit of an eye-opener. I figure I may as well try to build this deck with more hand traps in this deck. I think you could actually get away with it because you don't really need too many cards to start yourself off your combos with. I mean, look at the cards I have left over. These are more so cards that follow up on the next turn, which is great, by the way. I mean, you could still definitely work really well with what we have here. So yeah, it's definitely very fantastic. Your opponent's going to have a really hard time getting over this anyway. So yeah, I'm actually really liking how things are actually going. Definitely very consistent. So normally I do 3 test hands per video, but the thing is this, these Gouki Testhands are far longer. As a result, I could only really fit 2 in before we're getting close to that 20-minute mark. So with that being said, I'm going to cap it off right here. I'm definitely very pleased to see that in both opening test hands we were able to go for the exact same boards, plus managing plenty of resources remaining as well. I've already seen some things I might want to do to adjust the deck, and the deck is already really good as it is, but I feel like by adding in more hand traps, you could definitely make this deck quite amazing with plenty of disrupts. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this particular build here. Goukis are something that have great potential to work off here with. I think one of the MVPs of this particular deck is oddly the Power Load Ogre. This card is actually working out really well for the entire deck. I love it so much. It's just an amazing boss monster, and you only really need 1 copy of it in your deck. I'm surprised it actually came out quite late in Eternity Code, but with that being said, it's better late than never, you know. So with that being said here, thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.